John D. Rockefeller was a man who developed the U.S. oil industry. He wasn't just some random rich guy with a lot of money. He was an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a visionary who made it his mission to use his money for good. In this video, we're going to talk about strategizing well, which made John D. Rockefeller so great. We'll also talk about how he made his fortune through oil and what he did with it after that. So keep watching if you want to find out more about him. Rockefeller's childhood and early life. John D. Rockefeller was an American industrialist who played a pivotal role in the development of the modern oil industry in the U.S. He was the founder of the Standard Oil Company, which became one of the world's largest and most profitable corporations. Rockefeller was born in Richford, New York in 1839. His family moved to Cleveland, Ohio when he was a teenager. He was the eldest son of a total of 6 children, so he automatically became the man of the house when his father wasn't around. His father, William Avery Rockefeller, was a traveling physician who sold snake oil as a cure to diseases. John helped his mother raise turkeys in their backyard so they could sell the meat for money, because his father usually didn't have enough money for their needs. John's father led a life with 2 wives and families without them knowing about the other. Later, his father decided to move both families together as one big family. But John was disgusted by this and decided to move out as quickly as he could and make his own money. In 1855, he started working as an assistant bookkeeper at Hewitt & Tuttle Co. He liked the job and gained valuable experience, but was paid very little, so he started looking for business options. His early business ventures. John's early business ventures were essential to his success as an oil baron, and they were also a major factor in the growth of the entire oil industry in the United States. After graduating from high school and working as a bookkeeper for a couple of years, Rockefeller was able to save enough money and borrow some, due to his good reputation amongst people, to start his own business. He started trading hay, meat, and grains. The business did well and made him $450,000 in his first year. Of course, a lot of this money was then used to repay loans and business expenses. When the U.S. Civil War broke out, he paid a professional soldier to go in place of him to war because, according to him, "I wanted to go into the army to do my part, but it was simply out of the question. There was no one to take my place. We were a new business, and if I had not stayed, it would have stopped." After the Pennsylvania oil rush hit, oil became black gold and a new way to make a lot of money in the U.S. At 24 years of age, John decided to take advantage of the situation and set up an oil refinery in Cleveland, Ohio. He left his previous career as a trader to grow his oil business full-time. The birth of the Standard Oil Company. In order to expand his business further, Rockefeller formed Standard Oil Company in 1870 with his brother William. This company would eventually become one of the largest companies in America at the time. Rockefeller was keen on expanding his business and taking over the whole industry. He bought out competitors across multiple states until they controlled over 90% of all oil refineries in America, at which point they could dictate prices by controlling supply and demand. Eventually, Standard Oil Company became so large that it was deemed illegal by Congress because it was considered an unfair monopoly. This led John D. Rockefeller to create several other companies as subsidiaries to escape the illegality. The dissolution of his company. The dissolution of Standard Oil Company is one of the most famous antitrust cases in history. The purpose of the company was to control all aspects of oil production and distribution in the United States. In 1882, the Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil was an illegal monopoly under the Sherman Antitrust Act. The act was created to prevent anti-competitive practices by corporations that had grown to such a size that they were able to control the entire market. The act also allowed the government to sue companies that violated its provisions. In 1911, after years of legal battles, the U.S. Supreme Court ordered Standard Oil Company to be split into 34 companies. The Sherman Antitrust Act was aimed at ending monopolies, but it had more far-reaching consequences than simply breaking up large corporations with power over entire industries. It also allowed for the breakup of companies that had achieved monopoly status through mergers and acquisitions. The dissolution of Standard Oil Company resulted in many new competitors entering the petroleum product market, which led to lower prices for consumers and greater innovation among oil companies overall. A man of strategy, vision, and money. Rockefeller also had a genius for strategy. For example, when competing oil companies tried cutting prices so low that they would go out of business, Rockefeller's company kept its prices high, but only until it became clear that their competitors were going bankrupt because of their own low prices. Then Rockefeller dropped his prices so low that those competitors couldn't compete anymore. Rockefeller's success wasn't just about being smart or ruthless. It was also about having power, and not just physical power, but also political power. His philanthropy. Rockefeller was incredibly generous with his money and believed that wealth should be used for the benefit of others, not just for personal gain. He spent much of his life giving back to society with foundations and other forms of charity, and gave away more than $537 million of it during his lifetime. But the best part of it is that he didn't just give it away without thinking about it first. Initially, he created the Rockefeller Foundation in 1913 as a way of making sure his money would do some good for generations to come. The foundation was created with the purpose of helping people around the world improve their quality of life through education initiatives like universities or schools, medical research initiatives like hospitals or clinics, and social welfare. Lessons to learn. But what can we learn from his life and career? We can learn that if you want something badly enough and work hard enough at it, you can achieve your dreams. It's not easy. In fact, it takes years of hard work and dedication. But if you're willing to put in the time and effort, there's no reason why your goals shouldn't become a reality. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching and see you next time.